The ghost of the past and the three schemers. My husband passed away, leaving my heart hollow and my days unbearably lonely. To fill the void, I brought home a handsome scholar to warm my bed. The days that followed were sweet, save for one thing. In the heat of the night, I often called out the wrong name. The young scholar was so aggrieved that tears welled in his eyes. He choked out, "In what way am I inferior to that late husband of yours?" Ache blossomed in my chest. I spent ages coaxing him. "You're not inferior. Not at all. Of the three, you easily rank second." The scholar gnashed his teeth in fury. "What? Aside from your late husband, there is another one." The night was deep and silent. For some reason, the bed warmer beneath the covers grew increasingly hot. The heat made me break into a cold sweat, and I reached out to tug at my collar. I felt something both itchy and chillingly cold. I clearly remembered hanging my jade pendant on the stand before sleep. Why did it feel so heavy now, swaying against my skin? That icy touch slid over my flesh, making me shiver involuntarily. Soon, my eyes burned, and tears spilled out uncontrollably. I bit my lip, suppressing the sob rising in my throat. Why couldn't I wake up? Who was this person? Was it Lugon or Tamtrak Tri? The intense stimulation splintered my thoughts. No, Tamtrak Tri died 5 years ago. It had to be Lugon, but he had always been gentle and considerate. Since when did he become this urgent? Even a bit clumsy, my mind was a blur of haze. I endured and endured until, finally, I couldn't help but whisper, "Lang Junlu, be gentle." The figure froze instantly. Silence fell like a heavy shroud. An indescribable sensation spread through the air. Then, a voice as cold as forged ice rang out. "Who is Lang Junlu?" A cold sweat drenched my spine. Survival instinct forced me out of my stupor, and I struggled to open my eyes. Under the moonlight filtering through the window, I saw the resentful face of Ta Kaiyan. "Did you not say you only had one dead husband?" he demanded. "Who is Lu? On Nan, just how many men are hidden in your heart? Where exactly do I rank?" The more he spoke, the more aggrieved he became, tears streaming down his face. What was I to do? When he cried, he looked even more like Tamtrak Tri. It made one want to keep him crying like that forever. Takayan looked straight into my eyes, and immediately noticed something was wrong. He was so angry he could barely breathe. "On Nan, you're looking at my face just to yearn for that late husband of yours again, aren't you?" I felt a pang of guilt and hurriedly explained. "How could I ever compare you to Tamtrak Tri? You are the one I love most." Takayan looked at me with eyes full of hurt. "It better be so otherwise." I tilted my head up and pressed a soft kiss on his cheek. "Be good. You have to enter the capital for the imperial examination tomorrow. You need to sleep early." His ears turned so red, they looked ready to bleed. He buried his head in my shoulder and murmured, "It's always like this. You use this trick every single time." A faint smirk played on my lips. Men truly were easy prey for this. Takayan kissed my earlobe, his breath teasing my skin, his tone threatening. "You are not allowed to find anyone else. Do you hear me?" I nodded perfunctorily. The capital was a place of magnificent beauty and distracting temptations. Would he even return? How could that be possible? The next morning, with every step he took, Takayan turned back to look at me with lingering reluctance. "Anan, you must wait for me. When I become the top scholar, I will surely return to marry you." The youth's eyes burned as bright as fire, causing a momentary stir in my heart. But it was only a moment. After he left, Tutui crept up to my ear and whispered mysteriously, "Miss, I just found a handsome gentleman at the back door. He's even better looking than Master Ta." The corners of my mouth lifted, and I eagerly followed her. However, what met my eyes was someone hauntingly familiar. My late husband, Tamtrak Tri. A smile graced his lips, as warm as the March sun. I didn't dare approach, for he looked exactly as he did in my countless dreams. Just one touch, and he would vanish. My vision blurred with tears, until he stepped forward and pulled me into a tight embrace. "Chiu Nan, long time no see." I leaned into his chest, sobbing until I couldn't breathe. 5 years. You bastard. I thought you were dead." 5 years ago, I had received his final letter from the battlefield. Nan, the war at the front is intensifying, and I do not know when I can return. I wish you peace. Have you eaten in the osmanthus cakes this year? Every year I made them for you, but I fear I won't make it this time. Wait until next year. I will personally climb the highest mountain to pick the best osmanthus for your jam. Truthfully, I don't know if I can return safely. If I cannot, do not remain a widow for my sake. Find someone who treats you well, better than I ever did. 5 years felt like a lifetime. Tamtrak, try gently caress my face. I am back. I will never leave again. I led him into the courtyard. The osmanthus tree in the center remained unchanged. Tamtrak took my hand, his gaze suddenly turning sharp and burning. These past years, has anyone seduced you? I nearly choked. I had almost forgotten that Tamtrak was a supreme vinegar jar. Jealous to a fault. In the past, if I so much as spoke a few extra words to the baker, he would drag me into night shifts for an extra 2 hours. He wouldn't stop until I coaxed him into submission, nearly exhausting me to death. This was bad. I absolutely could not admit the truth. I shook my head vigorously. My heart only has room for you. It couldn't possibly hold anyone else. Tamtrak, elated, swept me off my feet and spun me around. I knew it. My wife loves me most. My heart was thumping with guilt, but then I thought. Since ancient times, men picked up from the streets were usually ungrateful white-eyed wolves that talk high and would surely go his way and never look back. Yes, he definitely wouldn't return. Deep into the night, by the flickering candlelight, Tamtrak was soaking in the bath. Looking at the crisscrossing scars on his back, my nose stung. Over these years, just how much pain had he endured to return to me? Tamtrak's dark eyes held surging undercurrents. Shall we? My heart softened. Wait, what? I looked at him in disbelief. Was this not supposed to be a wholesome reunion? In the next instant, he gripped my wrist and pulled me into the tub. The hot water drenched my clothes. He held the back of my neck and invaded my breath with a near-savage intensity. I was forced to tilt my head back. My fingernails, scratching red, welts into shoulders. Compared to the gentle, spring breeze-like kisses of Lu Gongqua and Tak Hyen, Tamtrak's kisses had always been terrifyingly passionate and heavy. Nan, my Nan. He kissed my neck repeatedly, his eyes filled with possessive desire. Do you know that every long night for the past 5 years, I hated that I couldn't hold you this tight? I want you to laugh only for me, cry only for me, lose yourself only for me, and find pleasure only with me. Sometimes I thought, even if I had to lie in a coffin, I would drag you down with me. But when that moment truly came, my only wish was for you to be happy, even if the rest of your life didn't include me. His hot breath hovered by my ear. Every word felt like he was dissecting his heart to offer it to me. The sound of splashing water mingled with love and hate. My heart trembled, my eyes grew wet, and tears fell silently. I hugged him tightly with an aching heart. We will never be apart again. Tamtrak's kiss lingered on the corner of my mouth, his gaze terrifyingly greedy. On Nan, we have long been bound until death. I didn't know what Tamtrak had been eating these past few years, but his stamina was frightening. The candles had burned out, yet he showed no sign of stopping. By the end, I was barely audible. Tamtrak, that's enough. He looked at me, his eyes dark as ink. Sweat dripped from his forehead, creating ripples in the water. His voice was hoarse, his grip on my waist tightening. Not enough. Far from enough. I truly want to imprison you here forever. I was exhausted, an exhaustion that seeped into my very marrow. I could no longer distinguish day from night. All I knew was that Tamtrak was omnipresent. He wouldn't even let go of my hand while we ate. I felt lucky that there were a few days a month for rest during my period. In the kitchen, Tamtrak was kneading dough for osmanthus cakes. Seeing this familiar scene, my nose stung again. I hugged his waist from behind and nuzzled him. After you left, I only ate osmanthus cakes once. They tasted bitter. Tamtrak wiped his hands, turned around and embraced me. His gentle hands cupped my face. I promise you the osmanthus cakes you eat from now on will always be sweet. I leaned into his chest, my eyes misting over. I believe you. The cakes came out of the oven early, fragrant and sweet. It felt as though they smoothed over all the regrets of the past years. Perhaps life was too good, for I had almost forgotten that I owed a mountain of romantic debts. One morning, Tutui ran in shouting, "Miss, good news, great news. Master Ta has become the top scholar." Tri walked out of the room, looking at me suspiciously. Who is Master Ta? A chill ran down my spine. I forced a stiff smile. A distant relative of Tutui. He stayed here for a while. Tri looked skeptical. Is that so? I immediately showed my sincerity. Of course it's true. He seemed to believe me and didn't press further. Just as I sighed in relief, Tutui spoke up again. Master Ta is at the door. I was so terrified I could barely stand. What? Tri supported me, his gaze teasing. What are you panicking for? Unless Chiunin truly has a lover outside. Guilt gnawed at me. I just wanted to send Tri away. I want to eat the osmanthus cakes you made. Tri caressed my wrist, his brow arching with a playful smirk. No rush. After I meet this top scholar, I will make them for you. I cursed inwardly. If he met Takayan, he would probably blow up the kitchen. Tutui stuttered. Miss, it's not just the top scholar. Vice Minister Lu Gongqua is also here. And they both look very upset. My eyes rolled back. I nearly fainted on the spot. Who delivers news in halves like that? Worse yet, the resentful voice of Takai and rang out behind me. Anan, which shameless man is seducing you now? My heart turned to ash. I turned around and blurted out desperately, Master Ta, what nonsense are you talking about? Takai sneered in anger. Anan, you truly are heartless. And this pale-faced man, what lowly tricks did he use to coax you? Tri looked at me with dark eyes. Nan, tell him who I am. I closed my eyes in despair, wishing for a hole to swallow me whole. But these two had no intention of letting me go. Takayan stepped closer, his gaze growing more mournful. I gritted my teeth and decided to double down. He's my late husband who died early. This time, it was Takayan's turn to be stunned. The late husband brother? Tri stepped in front of me, squaring off against Takayan. His gaze was as sharp as an ice-coated blade, pinning the other man down with undisguised hostility. My wife is young and was deceived by a villain. I will discipline her properly later. As for the top scholar, please know your place. Takayan's shoulders stiffened, his chest heaving. He couldn't find his breath for a long time. Just then, Lu Gongqua, a step behind Takayan, entered the backyard. He smiled gently at me, a smile as radiant as March peach blossoms. Compared to the two madmen, Tri and Takayan, the jade-like Lu Gongqua still held a special place in my heart. He bowed to Tri. In terms of status, the two of us are indeed a step below Brother Tam. Tri huffed coldly. I hid behind him, a small smile forming. It seemed Lu Gongqua had the most first-husband grace. However, a moment later, he continued, but you've been dead for 5 years. Technically, you've already turned to dust. Why return to cling to Nanner? Since you died, why not stay dead cleanly? You made Nanner sad. You truly don't deserve to be her husband. Therefore, currently, your status is just like ours. Fair competition. Nanner, wouldn't you say so? 3 pairs of eyes simultaneously locked onto me. Small and pitiful, I squeezed to the side and hurriedly agreed. Yes, fair competition. The next second, Tri gripped my wrist, his eyes bloodshot as he stared at me. You're making me compete fairly with them? I shook my head frantically. No. Takayan and Lu Gongqua also stepped up, each grabbing one of my arms. Lu Gongqua, Nanner, you must be fair and distribute your favors equally. Takayan, Anan, why don't you just favor me alone? They babbled and argued until my head felt like it was going to explode. How about this? You 3 fight. Whoever wins, I'll follow him. Slap. Tri didn't earn his general title for nothing. He decisively slapped Takayan across the face. Takayan was a civil official. Before Tri, he was like a little chick. Luckily, Lugonqua was there to help, delivering a kick to Tamtrak Tri's backside. The two civil officials seemed to have reached a silent agreement to team up against Tamtrak Tri. The scene was pure chaos. Chickens flying, dogs jumping, ping ping pang pang. I sat to the side, suddenly wanting to scream a classic line. Stop fighting. Please stop fighting. Tui handed me a handful of melon seeds. Miss, it's clearly 2 against 1. But why does it look like Master Tam is one-sidedly assaulting them? I cracked a seed and replied, how can civil officials compare to military ones? Look at the stories. Doesn't the military man always win the bride in the end? Tui asked curiously. So which one does Miss like best? I smiled but said nothing. Why choose? I wanted them all. They fought for who knows how long. Takai and Lugonqua ended up with messy hair, faces swollen like pigs, and torn clothes. Tamtrak Tri didn't look much better. His pants were torn, exposing a patch of his buttocks. I nearly died laughing. He shouted that they were despicable, typical sly, and devious civil officials. Takai and Lugonqua shot back, calling him a crude, uneducated brute. And so, the ping ping pang pang resumed. In the end, no one yielded. They had to call a temporary truce. I visited Lugonqua first. After 3 years, his gentle, water-like temperament remained. Recalling our first meeting was a truly comical affair. He was the first man Tui picked up. At the time, with an indescribable expression, I followed her into the guest room. I clutched my forehead, looking at the bloody mess of a man on the bed. Tui, you can't just pick up men from the side of the road. They might be toxic. Tui wiped his face. Miss, look, he's very handsome. I scratched my head. He was covered in blood. Who could tell? She then grabbed him with one hand and shoved his face toward mine. Look closely, Mississippi. The nose is a nose. The eyes are eyes. He's beautiful. The man was half dead, and being hoisted like that turned his face paper white. I urged her. Put him down. Put him down. He's not a piglet for you to carry like that. Tui said. Oh, and dropped him. Lugonqua hit the bed with a thud and coughed up a large amount of blood. I pulled her to a corner. We can't keep this man. Why? She asked innocently. I declared, look at the stories. Anyone who picks up a man from the street either dies or gets their whole clan wiped out. Tui had an epiphany, right? Unlucky men shouldn't be kept. Silence him. Destroy the evidence. She then hauled Lugonqua 3 miles away and, splash, threw him into the river. I watched, speechless with horror. Finally, I just gave her a thumbs up. We cleaned up and went home happy. The result? The next day, on the snow pile in front of our door. Who is this man? I grabbed Tui's arm. Tui, wasn't he thrown into the river? Who is this? Tui approached with a complex expression. Miss, I fear we've met a ghost. I suggested. Maybe throw him again? No sooner said than done. Tui sprinted off with Lugonqua. Splash. The second time was surely it. I praised her. Good girl, Tui. Extra chicken leg for you tonight. Unexpectedly, the next day, Tui pointed solemnly at a soaking, wet Lugonqua on the ground. Miss, he's back again. I nearly stopped breathing. Damn it. I didn't believe in ghosts. Tui, throw him one more time. I'll stand guard all night. She disappeared with him again, shouting from afar. Miss. Success. I looked around and saw no movement. I thought we were safe. I was about to call her back when, in the dead of night, a drenched Lugonqua crawled out of the bamboo forest, his face as white as a vengeful spirit. The sight made me tremble. Lugonqua weakly grabbed my skirt and wailed, Lady, please stop throwing me. One more time and I'll truly die. I thought to myself, my brother, you are truly too hard to kill. And so Lugonqua relied on his extraordinary survival instinct to save himself. For the following years, he stayed, washing, cooking, and cleaning. Even better, he understood women's skincare and massage. He was dutiful and virtuous. I thought we would live peacefully forever, but he insisted on taking the imperial exam to become my support. He left and never returned. I asked him, so what happened these past 3 years? He hugged me and told the story. I became the top scholar and planned to return immediately. But I discovered clues about my family's past massacre and was hunted. I feared involving you. So I wrote a letter telling you not to wait. You didn't receive it. I shook my head. No, nothing. He looked at me with guilt. I didn't think it through, causing you worry. Now the debt is settled. And I have been adopted by the elder secretary. No matter what happens, no one can part us. How did you and Truyện meet? I asked. He caressed my waist. He is my cousin. He excitedly bragged that he was getting married. I asked to whom, and he said you. We fought right there, and I won. I was jaw-droppingly shocked. What a coincidence. Just then, Truyện pushed the door open, looking at Truyện impatiently. Finished talking? It's my turn for a nan now. Truyện tightened his grip on me provocatively. She belongs to me tonight. Truyện gnashed his teeth. Don't think just because you're my cousin you can be so arrogant. A nan is mine. Truyện kissed my cheek and sneered. Based on what? Can a green boy like you even serve nanner properly? Veins popped on Truyện forehead. With your frail body, are you any better? If you don't believe me, let's see who is more capable. Truyện mocked. Fine. Don't cry when you can't keep up. It's embarrassing. I stood there, feeling something was very wrong. Wait, why did it feel like they were all targeting me? Brothers sharing a blanket. Oh no, run. I tried to bolt, but was grabbed by both of them. Their expressions were identical. A deep fire burning in their eyes that made my heart hammer like a drum. I shook my head. No, this will kill me. They both touched my waist. Anand, you can do it. Kisses fell like a storm, lingering on every inch of my body, teasing and then invading. Truyện looked up, his red lips glistening. He smirked. Nanner, why are you crying like this? The tension spiked, making it impossible to escape. I drowned in it until my head spun and my fingertips went numb. The stimulation was so intense, I could barely tell Truyện and Truyện apart. All I knew was that they were both beasts. Truyện whispered, Nana, which one do you like? Truyện stared at me unblinkingly. I slapped them both and sobbed. I don't like either of you. Tomorrow I'll find someone new. Someone who is actually obedient. They looked at each other with deep gazes. Not obedient at all. Huh. Then just be obedient and endure it. I only woke up at sunset the next day. I opened my eyes to see a red-eyed Tamtrak try. What's so good about those two? Are they younger or more capable? While I was gone, what lowly tricks did they use to steal your heart? Don't leave me. I will learn to be obedient. I hugged him, heart aching. I like you just the way you are. You don't need to change. A try. I never regretted marrying you then or now. His tears fell freely. I rarely saw him cry. He was truly hurt this time. I wiped his tears. In my heart, he was unique and irreplaceable. His eyes lit up. Truly, I nodded. A try. I will never abandon you. But we cannot go back to how we were at the beginning. He hugged me tight, his tears wetting my neck. I know. My Nan is a very good person, deserving of much love. I actually feel lucky. Even if I died on the battlefield, at least my Nan would live a peaceful, happy life. Hearing this, my heart wrenched. You fool. I only wanted you to live in peace. He clung to me. It's enough that you have me in your heart, but their status must never surpass mine. He looked so aggrieved that I smiled and nodded. It won't. You are the only one. Anand, come eat. We made many dishes you like. Truyện and Truyện shouted happily from outside. Tamtrak huffed. Civil officials and their silver tongues. I giggled and stroked his face. Stop being angry. Let's eat. At the table, the three of them wouldn't stop talking, constantly piling food onto my plate. This is good, that's also delicious. It was a rare moment of harmony. Though they didn't say it, they had accepted each other's presence. At least formally. Nan, stay with me tonight. No. Nanner said she'd be with me. Both of you get lost, and Nan is mine. Fine. It seemed there was no peace after all. Days passed in noisy bustle. But separation arrived quietly. They all held official positions and couldn't stay forever. Truyện hadn't been formally appointed yet, so he had time. Truyện had official business as an excuse. But Tamtrak couldn't stay. He had faked his death for 5 years to secure military power in the northwest. The current emperor was suspicious. The borders were won. The army was returning in triumph. As a general, he had to attend the celebration in the capital. The day of parting was rainy, just like the day he left for war years ago. I found myself reluctant to let him go. Try looked at me with lingering affection. The borders are won. His Majesty won't make things hard for me. Don't worry, I'll be back soon. I choked back tears and nodded. I'll wait for you. He kissed my forehead. Wife, when the osmanthus blooms this year, I will make you the best cakes. Takayan stood nearby, his tone provocative. A great man shouldn't be so slow. It's not like you're never coming back. We're here. Lu Gongqua nodded at Try. Rest assured, I will take good care of Nanner. Finally, he left. As soon as he was gone, Lu Gongqua and Takayan grabbed my hands. Takayan, great. Now the world belongs to us two brothers. I roll my eyes. Where did this idiot come from? Lu Gongqua smiled and shook his head. Let's go, Nanner. Ignore the fool. Takayan jumped up. Lu Gongqua, are you insulting me? Lu Gongqua hugged me. No respect at all. Call me cousin. Takayan gnashed his teeth and kicked Lu Gongqua. Another ping broke out. Why were these civil officials more eager to fight than soldiers? Is chickens pecking each other really that fun? Try went silent after he left. Lu Gongqua's men found nothing. It was as if he had vanished, giving me a dark premonition. In the middle of the night, the window was suddenly pushed open. The cold gleam of blades flashed. Assassins in black rushed toward the bed, stabbing the covers repeatedly. Lu Gongqua and Takayan protected me in a corner. Lu Gongqua's face was grave. Their target is clear. They come with ill intent. I'll lure them away. You two take the back door. Takayan's eyes were cold. We don't know their numbers. Rushing out is suicide. Lu Gongqua lowered his voice. Neither of us has enough martial skill. They'll find us eventually. Rushing is our only hope. My men are nearby. They'll come when they see the commotion. Delaying them gives us a chance. Protect Nanner, don't worry about me. Takayan looked worried. Be careful. Don't die. Lu Gongqua was about to dash out when I grabbed him. Are you two looking down on me? Stay put. Don't run around. They were stunned. I lunged out, kicking an assassin who had just entered. I drew the soft sword from my waist and fired a signal flare through the window. The assassins swarmed me. Blades flashed, but I spun my sword in a dance of blossoms. My robes fluttered, my blades struck true. Blood splattered. The assassins looked at each other and attacked from both sides. Thud. Tui arrived with a meteor hammer, sent them flying. Is Miss okay? I nodded, struck back with my sword. We fight our way out. Tui's hammer whistled through the air. Her moves fast and deadly. Takayan and Lu Gongqua assisted with hidden weapons. Nanner, watch out. An assassin appeared behind me with a dagger. Takayan lunged to block him, but I grabbed Takayan, pulled him back, and kicked the assassin away. Do you want to die? Takayan's arm was cut. He looked hurt. I was afraid he'd hurt you. I bandaged him. I know. Don't do it again. Lu Gongqua fired his hand crossbow. More are coming. The assassins grew in number. Whoever was behind this had spent a fortune. At the critical moment, arrows tore through the air. The assassins couldn't dodge and were pinned to the ground. Within moments, half were dead and the rest fled. Tui asked, Miss, should we pursue? I shook my head. They are death-sworn guards. We won't get anything even if we catch them. My people soon surrounded the courtyard. Leading them was Queen Min, who knelt before me. Princess, your servant arrived late. I asked coldly, what about the investigation? Queen Min replied, the emperor is critically ill. The fifth prince is staging a coup. His Majesty orders the princess to return to the palace immediately. I sneered. That old man only remembers me when he's dying. Shameless. Takayan froze. Princess? Anan, who are you? The current emperor only had one child, Crown Prince Chiu Duong, but he died years ago. Lu Gongqua was calmer but curious. I bandaged Takayan while saying, I am Chiu Duong, that late crown prince. Lu Gongqua spoke solemnly. I read records that the current emperor was mediocre and not meant for the throne. But Crown Prince Duong was a once-in-a-century genius, highly favored by the late emperor. Takayan added. In other words, the emperor only got the throne so Duong could eventually succeed him. I nodded. So he was resentful. His throne was a byproduct. No matter how good his politics, my shadow was always over him. Plus, I am a daughter he looked down on. Back then, the Empress Dowager truly wanted my aunt to lead. But for 100 years, only the late emperor was a woman. The blood and tears shed for that are indescribable. My grandmother wanted women to have a chance. But her generation was hard. When hope finally appeared, her health failed. She wanted my aunt to continue, but my aunt died young. Finally, she put her hope in me. She left a decree. When I turned 18, the old man had to abdicate to me. Takayan's face darkened. So if he wanted to stay emperor, he had to kill you. I nodded. Instead of waiting, I faked my death and opened a tavern on the main road to the capital. He knew I wasn't dead, and I knew he knew. For years, he let the court rot and listened to sycophants. So he met his karma. After me, he had no more children. The fifth prince, Entrai, is only adopted. I am his only blood. No matter how much he feared me, he couldn't kill me. Lu Gongqua sighed. Instant retribution. Entrai must have found me and tried to silence me. We couldn't wait. Takayan held my hand. Anan, whatever you do, we are with you. Lu Gongqua nodded. I gave the tiger tally to Kui Min. Go to the northwest. Command the troops. Corrupt officials are rampant. We must purge the court. Lu Gongqua looked at the tally. Didn't Tam Track try take it? I fingered the tally. The night before he left, he had pressed it into my hand. Chiu Nan, I knew who you were from the start. I deceived myself, knowing there was more manipulation than love between us. But I still hope to live a simple life with you. A common man like me is honored to have your favor. I know you must return. I won't stop you. I only hope to be your stepping stone. I had sobbed. You fool, you knew I only approached you for military power. Yet you still risked your life for it. He had smiled. My Chiunin deserves the best. I split the army into 3 paths toward the capital. One through a secret tunnel into the palace. I had to see the old man. Luckily, as a child, my grandmother let me dig many secret tunnels. I entered the hall and saw the dying man on the bed. Emperor on Chap Tich, my father. He reached out tremblingly. Chiu Duong, long time no see. You've grown thin. I sneered. Who are you playing the kind father for? When you wiped out my mother's clan, why didn't you care I was your daughter? He looked lost, blood spilling from his mouth. I failed you and your mother. My selfishness destroyed this family. Every night, I dream of her questioning me. I have no answer. If I hadn't been emperor, would we have been happy? I looked at him coldly. You aren't repentant. You're just dying and powerless. If I weren't your only child, I'd be dead already. He laughed self-deprecatingly. You are like her, clear about love and hate. I will issue a decree of self-reproach, admitting my faults. I hope you will be happy. Over the years, your tavern saved many talents. Lu Gongqua and Takayan will be great assets. The Northwest Army is yours. No one can stop you. My Chiu Duong belongs at the top. I was surprised. You knew everything. Why didn't you stop me? He smiled. My daughter is so excellent. How could I not be proud? I just took the wrong path. His words reminded me of years ago. He and my mother making osmanthus cakes, laughing, smearing flour on each other's faces. Eat this. I want your life to always be sweet. Time cannot be held back. He gave me the Empress Dowager's decree. My daughter, you will be an excellent emperor. When Tam Track brought on Truyện into the hall, the prince was still cursing. Tam Track, why betray me? I promised you everything. And on Chiunan, what magic did you use to turn the court against me? You're just a woman. I stepped on his hand and crushed it. Because I am Crown Prince Chiu Duong, the recognized heir. A mongrel like you dares to compete with me? Remember when you crawled like a dog for my mercy? Don't think you're a superior being just because you rose up by betraying others. You are forever a mongrel. Entrai glared with hate. You were born with everything. I had nothing. Killing peasants is nothing for my ambition. I kicked him. lower than a beast. Take him to the mirror prison. Don't let him die. Rotate every torture on him. He screamed. On Chunan. You bitch, I want you dead. He pushed the guards and lunged with a hidden dagger. On Chap Titch lunged from the bed to block me. The sound of flesh being pierced echoed. The Emperor lay in a pool of blood. On Tri was mad. Old man, you ruined it. I drew my sword and severed on Tri's arm. He screamed and fainted, then was dragged away. I looked at my dying father. Don't think this makes up for it. He smiled. I can't pay for my sins, but I protected you at the end. I'm going to apologize to your mother. I'm sorry I destroyed our home. I watched him take his last breath. My mother's death was still clear. I could never forgive him. Tak Hai In and Lu Gonghua were waiting anxiously. Nanner, are you okay? The dust has settled, I replied. Lu Gonghua said, the court is stable. My foster father is there. The ministers are waiting. In the first year of Kinhoa, Crown Prince Chiu Duong returned and ascended the throne. Peace followed. In the third year, I had a daughter, Onion Hoa. She was adored by all three of them. If she said east, they wouldn't dare go west. I laughed seeing them commanded by a toddler. Lu Gonghua was now the prime minister, busy as can be. Tak Hai and was the minister of revenue, filling the treasury. Chu Tui went to the battlefield, fulfilling her dream. Tam Trak Tri was retired and peaceful, often taking our daughter fishing. When the other two were free, the three of them still bickered endlessly. This year, all five of us made osmanthus cakes. My daughter's face was covered in flour. Lu Gonghua chased her to wipe it. Ta, Kai, In, and Tam Trak Tri were covered in flour themselves. Ridiculous. Hey, don't target me. I just got a new dress. I ran, hearing my daughter's laughter. Mother, don't run. Anan, stop. A bunch of troublemakers. I pulled Lu Gonghua in as a shield and fought back. Flour flew like mist. Even the clean Lu Gonghua joined in. Finally, we all collapsed on the ground, exhausted. Tam Trak Tri put a plate of fresh cakes in my hand. I took a bite. The sweetness filled my mouth, covering the darkness of the past. This was the taste of reunion. So sweet. Truly sweet. The end. Thank you everyone for listening to today's story by Pineapple. I wish all my beloved listeners a day filled with joy and happiness. I hope you will continue to support Pineapple in the upcoming stories.